What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another War Within Goldmaking video for you guys. So today I'm here to show you guys a method of which I'm using to make gold in the War Within, and we're talking about profession equipment here. Now, we're talking about a method that you can use to enhance both the sell rate and the price of your profession equipment that you are making. Now, it's important to note that once again we are doing profession equipment here, which is not going to be a market that is relevant to everyone, but it's going to be a very lucrative market, and it's pretty simple to get into. For example, for blacksmithing, you need way less knowledge points to get into that market than anything else. Now, for example, if you have 80 knowledge points, you can actually start getting into this really well, and if you have 100, you can actually fully max it out. So for me, I have 100 right now. We have 30, 30, 20, and 20, being able to craft everything at the highest quality with quality 2 materials, sometimes even quality 1. So I can make, for example, here the proficient sickle. I have a way too much skill point for, and I can use quality 2 or even quality 1 alloys to make this one, making it as cheaply as I can, and therefore making as much gold as possible. It is a really easy market to get into. For leatherworking as well, for example, the main things you want to go for is 30 points here and then 30 points here, so 60 points and you're good to go. Meanwhile, for other specs you have to put in 100 plus points to even get to the point of making profits. So TLDR, professional equipment, is super easy to get into, and you can make a bunch of gold with it. Now, the method I'm talking about today is using missives on your tools. So for example, in blacksmithing, I can make quite a few tools. If we go over here, we can make the skinning knife, we can make the sickle, we can make the pickaxe, we can make the leatherworker's knife, and we can even make the blacksmithing hammer. Now, by using missives, you can guarantee what stats this one gets. Now, the missives usually cost about 2,000 gold. It depends on what missive you want. So for example, let's just go to the auction house right now and look at a couple of them. So missive of multicraft, for example, that one is usually pretty expensive, missive of multi, and thankfully the auction house is fixed now, which is perfect. So for 1.4k, I can guarantee multicraft on this hammer, and lots of blacksmiths are spec'd into crafting alloys, and for alloys, many of those are using multicraft. You can also use an argument for ingenuity when it comes to spending concentration, but a lot of people are going for multicraft here, so having a missive of multicraft is absolutely insane. Same thing for leatherworkers, they benefit even more from that, by the way. So as a leatherworker, if you have a leatherworking alt army, they want to have multicraft. Now, this craft by itself already costs a nullstone, so it's a pretty expensive craft. Now you can add 1.4k more, and then you can guarantee the stat that 95% of the player base actually wants. So for example, if I'm going to buy professional equipment right now, I'm going to go for leatherworking and go for the tool. I will scout through all of them and look for a multicraft one. So 564, for example, I will look through the stats here before buying and only buy it if it has multicraft. So if there's no multicraft here in any of these, I will downgrade to 557, which is more expensive now, so never mind, but 550, and look for multicraft again, because as you can see, they all give a +8 Zygor skill, and I want multicraft. If I have to downgrade, I will. So people are literally looking through these items and looking for the stats that they want, and they will even pay more. So for the last week now, what I've been doing is always use a missive and make the stat that is the most beneficial to that profession, and then sell the best tools with the best stats. And either you post them at the current price and therefore they sell faster, or you can sell them for more gold. For example, the leatherworking knives that I make with multicraft, I add about 3,000 gold to the price, and the missive once again costs 1.4k, so I'm adding 3,000 gold to the price, and they still sell because once again people are fine combing through these to find multicraft when they're buying, because they really need multicraft and there's no point in buying anything else. Now, to really get this to work, you really want to have an idea of which professions benefit from which stat the most, and especially for alt armies, because you are benefiting from people setting up tens of characters and buying green tools on all of them because they either can't afford the blue one, or they choose to spend their acuity on knowledge points books right now, so they're buying a bunch of green materials and green tools and accessories with the right stats. So you want to know what people benefit from what. Now, in my case here, in my experience, blacksmiths usually use multicraft, sometimes ingenuity. Leatherworkers basically always use multicraft. That's the one that sells 99% of the time for me. For pickaxe, you want to have perception, so try to get a missive, guarantee perception on that one. So Algari missive of perception, because that gives you a higher chance to get nullstones. So proficient pickaxes with perception, they will sell both faster and sell for more gold. Same thing for sickles. Sickles with finesse usually sell faster and sell for more gold, and for skinning it's a little bit of both. The people that want to get hides, they go for perception, and the people that want to get more high quality leather when they're farming, they go for finesse. So either you go for perception here or finesse, or just make randoms and hope to get the right one. The only thing is, if you get the bad stat, they might be in your bags for a long time, because at that point you're preying on people not knowing what they're buying and just buying a high quality tool for no reason really. Now, once you have set this up, it's important to also note that you can use more professions than just blacksmithing and leatherworking here. I would say engineering is actually the one doing best for me right now, and then you also have jewel crafting, and I believe even enchanting and inscription, especially for tools. So focus on professions that can make tools but also accessories, and once you have gotten this down, and you know what to craft and you have the right professions to do this strategy, start branching out to multiple servers. You can use the warbank, so putting items into your warbank, like I have here for example, some enchanters cards, and also the alchemist mixing rods with multicraft on them of course. So we have a bunch of these in the warbank right now, that I'm then taking out on a different server and posting on many multiple servers to sell as many equipments as I can. Now, yeah, so you want to branch out, and the more servers you sell on, the more sales you generally get. Instead of just staying on one server, just post on multiple, especially now that the auction house is fixed. Now, this is something that have been making me a lot of gold for the last week, but it's never too late to get into this. In Dragonflight, for those who played, you probably remember tools and accessories, they made profit throughout the entire expansion. Now the profit obviously goes down. We're no longer selling items for 30,000 gold each, and we're not making 20,000 gold profit per craft anymore, but we're still making a lot of profit. I am sometimes tripling, quadrupling, and quintupling my gold on profession tools, still. So this is a way to make gold that has been doing really well so far, and even though it's going down in profits, it's always worth getting into, and it's super simple to get into as well, especially the blacksmithing market, but any market is easier to get into, and generally requires way less knowledge points than any other build. So it might be the easiest market to get into for a new player for example, or someone who doesn't have that much capital, because you don't need to have the most gold to get started here, and you don't need to spend hundreds of hours or tens of hours. And there's also no artisan security shuffling necessary. Like, I haven't shuffled anything on this character. I can even go and buy books right now, I just realized. But yeah, there's no like degen stuff going on here. You just put in some knowledge points, you can get it to work really bare bones, and start making a bunch of gold. And I just wanted to highlight that, because it's good right now, will be good for the future, it's easy to get into, and it makes a little bit more gold than it should. Either way, that's the video. If you want to have access to more gold making information, check out my gold making guide through the link down below, which is a guide I've made for the War Within covering professions, how to spend your concentration, which builds to go for in those professions. Is generally just helpful for professions. Then we also have solo gold farms, group gold farms. It's a full-fledged guide with a lot of different ways to make gold, and the aim is that there should be something in there for everyone. Now, in addition to the guide, you also get access to a private Discord server where you have a lot of other like-minded goblins that are trying to make as much gold as possible in the War Within, sharing information, talking and having discussions about gold making, and even looking for group and farming together. It is generally a great place to be, and in that Discord server I also post quite often, and I also have early access videos that I link over there, and exclusive videos as well. So you get the guide, you get more content, earlier access to content, and you get a Discord server for Goldmaking. Either way, if you want to check that out, the link is down below, and as always, thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you again in the next one very soon. Bye bye, bye bye.